Yes, guys, Ryjack back for another video. Today I've got fantastic news. Antoine Semenyo apparently has chosen Manchester City as his next team. He has prioritized the move to us instead of Manchester United, instead of Spurs and Liverpool, Chelsea. Anybody else in the Prem that were interested? He said no. He says yes to Manchester City. By reports, of course, nothing official just yet, but I do want to take a look and review kind of Twitter and everything that's been going on with Antoine Semenyo, the news surrounding that, as well as take a look at where would he fit in a lineup. That's a big question going around Twitter at the moment. So before we do start, as always, likes, comments, subscriptions, always very much appreciated. The support on the channel is not unappreciated. I want to say thank you guys. We are just over a year on YouTube, so I thank you very much. And if you would like, my social links are in my channel description, as well as the Discord link for all Man City fans. Now, let's take a look at the X news. Fabrizio kind of started it off, him and David Ornstein together around the same time. Of course, those are two very reliable sources. City are progressing to complete the deal for Semenyo in the next days. As revealed, City have been pushing in the last 12 hours to accelerate talks. Semenyo indicated City as a favorite destination despite United trying hard, Chelsea and Spurs out of their race. There was also some rumors that with Liverpool, potentially Isak's injury, maybe they would come in the race as well. But for the time being, Semenyo has chosen City. He preferred our project, is the news that I've seen. The project is what he chose with City. He wants to win trophies, which obviously you're not getting if you're going to Manchester United. That's not happening. That's not what they do. City, we win trophies. That's why he's decided to come play for Pep Guardiola. Formal steps in the next few days. So, I mean, the deal is not technically over the line. It's not done, but by all accounts, it's done, and Semenyo has chosen to come play for us. So those are the Fabrizio tweets, at least at the moment. I will go to my bookmark tweets here because I had a few as well. It did get me thinking, Antoine Semenyo, should that happen? Bournemouth, a former Bournemouth player that we have, Nathan Ake, looking for minutes, and this popped up as well from Man City Brazil. Again, I'm not sure how reliable this aggregator is. It says it's from Alex Crook, who is a reliable source, but Bournemouth is considering Nathan Ake, who wants to play more regularly. Palace also interested. We've heard that in the past as well. It would make sense to me if part of this deal was we agreed with Bournemouth we could do another deal, a separate deal, because player-for-player swaps don't really happen very often. A separate deal where Bournemouth are given the priority, they can get Nathan Ake back from City if they choose to pursue that deal. So that makes sense to me personally. Anyway, the other bit of X news and information I thought was relevant was some Antoine Semenyo commentary from Sky Blue Times, which is a really good tactical account that talks about Man City and everything. This was back December 2nd. Talks about the unique combination of qualities. There have only been 2 seasons by a winger in Europe's top 5 leagues to have a minimum of 100+ ball recoveries, 50+ aerial duels, 30+ shots on target, and 50+ successful take-ons. Those belong to both to Antoine Semenyo. And it just shows that defensively, he works hard. Bournemouth, he probably has to work harder in the Bournemouth team than he would for the City team in terms of defensively, because we have so much of the ball and they don't have the ball as much. So he by default is working harder defensively. So, he's not going to do this at City, but 100+ ball recoveries in a season. He wins aerial duels, 50 balls. He wins those in the air. Shots on target. We love shots on target. A player that creates goals for himself, which is something we've needed outside of Erling Haaland. We remember a few weeks ago we talked on the channel, City were looking at a direct goal-scoring winger or a technical winger, and it looks as if they've chosen the direct goal scorer, that is Antoine Semenyo. It is also a bit of a market opportunity. The release clause is 65 million euros. Bournemouth want to sell now instead of in the summer when it's lower. Semenyo wants to move, so you could wait and see if there's someone bigger in the summer, namely a Michael Olise. But again, is Olise a realistic target? I know everybody talks about Olise, and I even made a video yesterday about Olise. I made it on my TikTok Shorts, which you can check in my channel description as well. But Olise is contracted until 2029. He's at Bayern. Teams typically at this upper echelon don't buy and sell from each other. Most of the time, you're buying from, I don't want to say feeder clubs, but from Bournemouth. You buy from Bournemouth and they become a star at a big club. It is not super common, unless you're Real Madrid, where you just pluck out big time players from big time clubs. It's very difficult to do. You'd have to have a lot of things go extremely well for you. And, City didn't want to take that risk. Clearly, they want Semenyo now, and that means no Michael Olise in the summer, in my opinion, of course. I don't think both of them make any sense to happen. So I like that bit of analysis here. There's a lot, and I won't read it all, but some of the interesting stats I thought were interesting. Second among Premier League wingers for goals, 17. Second for ball recoveries, fourth for GNA. The value is clear to see. So that's what I'm talking about. It's just he provides the attributes of what we are missing from our winger ability. I know people talk about how good Jeremy Doku is and how good Marmoush can be, but at the moment, Doku doesn't really score goals. He's much more of a creator, as is Semenyo. Semenyo doesn't really score goals. And I don't mean to diminish Jeremy Doku's season. He's had a really good season. Maybe one of the best wingers in the league. Definitely his best season at Man City. But he's got one Premier League goal. Semenyo has 17 since the beginning of last year. I mean, in terms of actual output for goals, they're not really even comparable. I know people will say, oh, he did it at Bournemouth. The pressure's not the same. But they are, in actuality, playing the same teams in the Premier League, and it's just a mentality thing. Pressure is only what you make it to be. If Semenyo can come in and not succumb to the pressure of being at a big club, which I don't know why he wouldn't be able to do that. He's decided to go to the club that competes for the biggest trophies. He could have taken the easier, less difficult route and gone to United and got a big fat paycheck and not won anything, and it wouldn't have been a big deal because they never win anything. But he's gone to City where it is required to win trophies and perform, or you get moved. It's a risk for him to choose us, and he does. So, again, this is an extremely long, essentially it's an article on what is fantastic from him. But I am a big fan of Antoine Semenyo, and I am very encouraged by the initial contact and initial looking like we're signing him. Of course, it could still go the other way, but Semenyo to City looks very likely at the moment. You might ask, how does he fit into the team? And, I mean, it is a bit crowded, our attacking areas of the pitch, but you have to also think with injuries and everything like that, we're never really going to have our full outlay of players available. The full squad is rarely ever fully fit where no one's out injured. It just doesn't happen that often. If you look at our bench at the weekend, we had 7 first-team players unavailable for selection, either due to injury or AFCON. And I know AFCON is only December, January. That's not going to happen the rest of the way, but injuries are injuries. They're just going to continue to happen. So I think it makes sense if you just look at our best starting 11, and then I can show you where I personally believe Semenyo fits in. So the back line, of course, doesn't change. It is Nico O'Reilly, it is Gavardiol, it is Ruben Diaz, and Mateus Nunes, who quite nicely has actually become, the last couple of games, have shown an ability to play in some midfield roles, which, gives some nice rest for Nico Gonzalez, which is a different conversation, but I am very thankful that we're seeing some rest for Nico G. And then Rodri is back eventually, you hope, maybe in January, and that can kind of add to our midfield that I think we desperately need. So, these are probably the areas I would say are the most set in the team. You have Holland at striker, a midfield duo of Foden and Nico G. Those two are locked on starters, as is the backline and goalkeeping position. This left wing spot here, for me, is probably going to remain Doku as long as he is injury free. He is an injury risk, though. He always misses time and is currently missing time. Every year he's been here, he's had instances of missed time through injury. So him and Omar Marmoush being those left wing options is very important. However, Marmoush has missed time for injuries. He's missing now for AFCON. Semenyo, assuming he was available for selection tomorrow, would be the left winger at the moment. He would just start left wing and there'd be no questions asked because honestly, at the moment, we don't even have a left winger available. You have Semenyo, but I don't really like him left wing personally. Right wing, you have Semenyo, the predominant right winger in the team, probably. You have Oscar Bob, who is injured and I don't think going to be at the club past January if he's able to pass a medical. If he's not, I just don't see the game time happening. A loan looks likely for Oscar Bob. So then the question becomes Semenyo or Semenyo. Who starts in that position? And for me, it's clear. Semenyo is far the superior player to Semenyo. Semenyo has goals. He doesn't get as many assists probably as Semenyo does, but you have other players who are the chance creators. You have Ryan Cherokee, you have Phil Foden, you have Jeremy Doku, and Holland and Semenyo can be the finisher type players. And it does sound somewhat similar to Omar Marmoush, I will grant you that, but City have this opportunity to improve the squad and they take it. That's what I think happened here. Semenyo improves the squad. Release clause is doable. It fits in terms of wage structure and transfer budget. I don't see why not for Semenyo for me. So I would think in our best starting 11, it looks something like this in the front three. Semenyo, like I said, very good defensively. Has a lot of ball recoveries, meaning he works hard. He gets back, he tracks back, which really will help in terms of Ryan Cherokee's ability to kind of play a free role. If you start a lineup like this and go with Ryan Cherokee and Foden and Nico G in the middle, typically we've seen Bernardo Silva play in sort of this right wing or Cherokee's right wing and Bernardo is here, that position where Bernardo helps out tremendously in defense. I think if Semenyo can become that player that does offer that defensive stability and it comes back and helps, as well as being an output guy, a goals getter, that just makes the squad better and you can have Cherokee here. Otherwise, you can put Cherokee at right wing, you can put Bernardo here, Semenyo can play on the left if Doku is unavailable, Marmoush is available for left winger, rotation for striker rotation if Holland needs it. Right wing rotation, you have Cherokee can play there if you would like. You have Bernardo who can play there if you so choose. And then you have Semenyo as well. Most likely, I would say, though, one of Marmoush and Semenyo probably don't like this for themselves and would look for more minutes elsewhere. I don't know who that is, but I can't help but think if you have Doku, Marmoush, Semenyo as your wingers, one of those four is unlikely to be happy with their game time. Bob, I already consider gone as the fifth on that pecking order. And then the top four, whoever is fourth, I think decides at some point, this isn't for me. I need to leave and go get game time. Now, that's a question for another time. Does it matter who it is? To me, it doesn't. I just want the best players playing for my club. And I personally think Antoine Semenyo is a major upgrade if he's going to play right wing. I think even left wing, he could be an upgrade on Jeremy Doku. And I know people love Jeremy Doku, but for me, Semenyo has been a favorite of mine for time. I have said on streams since we started doing YouTube here on this channel over a year ago that I thought Semenyo would be a great signing. And it looks like we are inching closer towards that at the moment. So this is the lineup I would be looking at. You also have rotation players like Tijani Reiners would be available. Kovacic may be coming back sometime soon. You have Ryan Nori at left back. You have Rico Lewis at right back. Kusanov at center back. You have a really good, deep squad, in my opinion, with the signing of Antoine Semenyo, and I love it for 65 million euros. Hopefully, we see that go through officially once the actual transfer window opens in January. 10 days is the rumored amount of time City have to activate the release clause, and I would imagine they want it done quickly so they can integrate him to the squad as quickly as possible. Anyway, those are my thoughts and all the current rumors at the moment. I do appreciate you guys watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Antoine Semenyo to Man City in the January window. What do you guys think? I think it's a W, but let me know what you guys think as always, and subscribe if you are new. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.